David Lubinitsky is CEO of Ectico, an international corporation that is widely known throughout the world for its array of translating devices. All the branches of the U.S. military, NATO, the Secret Service, and Bed Bath & Beyond are but a few of Ectico's clients. Ectico's stated mission is, quote, to build a better world by building understanding between its people. We translate the world, end quote. David, welcome to Breaking Through.
Thank you very much, Bill, for having me on your program.
David, Ectico has now recalibrated and is going head-to-head with e-readers in the general market. The reason for today's visit is to explore its intentions in the arena of e-readers in K-12 schools. You know, long wedded to paper and ink variety of reading materials. You know, what is your e-reader product line at the current time?
Our e-reader product line consists of three different products. That would be JetBook Mini, JetBook K12, and JetBook Color. They're all different in price, in the functions, but they're united by the same idea of being educational products. Mm-hmm. So they designed primarily to be used on the different levels in schools.
Are these all being released internationally as well as in the U.S.?
Well, that's funny because we actually released them for overseas market before we released them in the United States. The main reason for this is because a lot of foreign governments, they're trying to switch in schools from traditional paper textbooks to electronic books.
Why is it that international governments are so far ahead of the United States in doing that? And also, if you could tell us, what countries are we talking about that you've been in discussions with?
Right. So now we run the experiment for second year already in Ukraine. That would be first year in Russia. And starting in January, it will start, believe it or not, in Uzbekistan. It's a country in Asia, and they very interesting to switch to the electronic education. Why they do this? Probably, well, it may not be the ultimate goal, but they're all concerned about rising price, rising cost of paper books. So on the long run, the use of e-book system in schools, it costs a lot less than using paper books. Such as we did a lot of research for Ukrainian government. And within the next 5 years, using the e-book readers only in 8, 9, 10, and 11 grade, they will save $900 million.
I would imagine, you know, when you were talking about the fact that they're more open to the idea of using e-books in other countries, I would imagine that there are fewer restrictions in publishing, licensing, and that sort of thing. I would imagine in this country, where you have, you know, very, very strongly legislated rules and regulations about licenses with very, very aggressive corporations that are trying to get paid for every word, every letter that's on the printed page, not to mention publishing houses love to reissue, you know, new editions, you know, spend another $275 on that chemistry book. And e-readers, let's just be honest about it, are going to blow a huge hole in that whole way of doing things.
Probably yes, Bill, but at the same time, there is no other way around. Next year or a few years from now, they will transfer all content to e-book readers. So paper books, they will become obsolete.
Mm-hmm. You know, your products, how do they measure up against the competition? You know, I would imagine the iPad and the Nook are competitors, certainly in the consumer line of e-readers. Honestly, how do the Ectico readers measure up by comparison?
we drifted off the consumer market. We don't see how we can compete with the big guys on this market, but we very much experience in school sales, in support, in development of specific applications for schools. So that's why instead of making consumer oriented ebook readers, we make educational ebook system, which consists of a variety of different software built in already in a device, and they work under the same shell of making easier process of reading, communication between teacher, student, between administration, between teacher and parents of the student. So that's the main idea for our products.
For more information, visit AstoriaLICFF.com.
All right, David, so I'm really glad you could come to the show today. And I see you brought some of your toys with you. And while I wanted people to learn about the company of Ectico, which is really well known for these, translating devices and so forth, but that you're really going into e-readers. That you're going head to head with some of these that are out there right now. And what did you bring with you today?
Speaking about company, we started 21 years ago, and we started practically, I didn't even have a garage to start. So we started to make handheld electronic translators. Then we expanded languages drastically. So now we handle 214 different languages for our translators. And that's one of our products line. It's a consumer-oriented products line. Another product line is products for U.S. government, for the Army, for police. It's also handheld voice translator. When the policeman can stop the person on the highway and ask for driver license, registration in a variety of different languages. We also license a lot of linguistic database, and one of our latest development, I wouldn't say latest, but we started in 2006, was electronic book readers. So as many companies, we started with the consumer product, consumer-oriented e-book readers. But because of our background, mainly in education, because of the translators we make, it's not even a translator, it's truly a linguistic educational tool. So that's why we drifted with the e-book readers more towards educational products. So our latest developments that I'd like to show you today, these are educational book readers, and they've been created specifically for use in schools.
Okay, what do you got?
Well, this is the very simple model. It is designed for elementary school. So all what it does.
So it's a simple reader.
It is simple reader.
I see you have the adventures of Tom Sawyer
right,
here,
right.
Mark
And
Twain.
it is powered by 4 AAA batteries, and you never have problem with the shortage of power. You just replace the batteries with the rechargeable one, with the AAA.
I'm noticing it's like this is in grayscale or black and white. There's no colors involved here,
No.
but it's specifically for reading print. That's what it's for.
Right. It is a good substitute to paper books specifically for reading. Because the teacher can download here any content he wants the kids to read, and of course, the big advantage of it is the price. It costs only $65 for schools, and
Oh, is that by a class set, David? Class sets at $65
yeah. We're
a piece?
talking about class set, about
see.
24 units per class, $65. So the teacher can download here on a SD card. It's a SD
What's the
card
connector?
slot.
Oh, the
It's a
SD card. I
slot,
see, yeah.
Yes, and
It's not cabled, though. It's just by card.
no, you can connect.
Oh,
the
it's
cable
connected,
here.
too. He's got a
Sure.
mini,
yes, a mini
USB
USB,
mini.
right?
Great.
And basically, that's a very basic type of ebook reader. So the idea is to save the cost on the books, because putting the cart with 10,000 books on it, and librarian can always replace the cart, put the new cart with the books they need. So that's a rather very inexpensive solution to school books.
Just off the top of my head, David, something like this, do you see the school purchasing this, or is this something that a parent could purchase? In other words, the child would be able to use it in school. The software, or the materials could be directed by the school, or the librarian, the teacher, or so forth. Do you see actually a parent absorbing the cost of this, or the school absorbing the cost of something like this?
Either way, because we just started to promote these products in the United States, and a bit later I'll tell you about our tests, our experiments in overseas. So
yeah, I want to hear about that.
yes, and again, this is a very basic model.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I just want to note one thing, David. This one here, and I would imagine the other ones as well. They're not glowing the way that my iPad or whatever glows. So this is a different technology. I would imagine this technology that this is kind of it reminds me of the look of the old Blackberries, which was but I'm sure it's more advanced than that, because those are hard to read. This looks very, very readable, and I would imagine, are these readable in sunlight?
Well, that's an idea, because iPad, the other tablets, they designed primarily to be used as a internet tablet, so you can see the very colorful content. But if you're talking about specifically reading, it wouldn't work well, because if you compare the page of the paper book with this type of screen, let's say, or this type of screen, you can see that these screens, they have no backlight behind the screen. So you can read from this screen as much as you would read from the regular book. If you try to read from the tablet, because of the backlight, your eyes become tired very fast. Another problem is reading in the sunlight. So the screen, the color screen that you have, that iPad have, it works really like a mirror. You would see better yourself than the text.
I would imagine it's a trade-off. In other words, if you're going to put the emphasis upon reading print as opposed to looking at pretty pictures, or surfing the net, that this is the way to go, the technology to use, because this is more readable under more circumstances, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So it has a
It's a trade-off,
specific-
but it's a trade-off.
Well, it's
because for example,
it depends.
here
It
the
depends
colors
what
are
you
very
need.
muted here,
Right.
but still it's highly readable.
Right, but that's an idea.
Yeah.
We are talking about substitute for school books. We are not talking about substitute to the computer, because these devices, they specifically designed to be used as a reading devices. You can read from the screen in the very same manner as you would read in the paper book. So that's the main idea. If we're talking about color screen, TFT screen, or LED screens, they transfer the color perfectly, but the problem is always stay the same. the colors they too intense for long reading. So that's an idea. All right.
And then the third item you have over here is this orange one, this high
well,
visibility. Looks like
this
the
is-
police tape.
This is what we offer to the U.S. schools now. This is JetBook K-12, and only the part of this product actually ebook reader. So you can get into the library and you'll see 50 states reading list. You can see your favorite readings. The rest of the product actually is supplemental programs. You have
You mean the other content on here beside the reading list? Do you consider the reading list to be the most fundamental part of this product?
well, I wouldn't say so. The teacher can download here any books for the student, but the student has a lot of support from the device while they're reading. Let's say they don't know the meaning of this particular word in the text. They can instantly get explanation of this word with the Oxford American Dictionary. They can listen to the pronunciation with a human voice, or they can translate this word or entire text, practically entire book, into Spanish with our text translation system. So, side of the Oxford Dictionary, Oxford Spanish Dictionary, it has a SAT test, so the students can prepare themselves for SAT. As 180 languages dictionary, a lot of supporting program like speed reading course. It will teach the kids read faster, but with the same level of comprehension. All right. The other parts like language and games, they contain mainly linguistic programs like phonetic language teacher. It checks the pronunciation of foreign phrases, foreign words, and correct the user. Picture dictionary. Every picture has a the name in English and a translation in Spanish or any of 39 different languages. Translation test, linguistic crossword. One of the interesting part is science and math, because the unit has built-in graphic calculator, scientific calculator, accounting calculator, math, physics, chemistry, reference data, interactive periodic system of elements. So it's all here, and it gives a lot of savings to the schools when they purchase this kind of products. So they have everything in one case. They have ebook reader, they have Oxford Dictionary, they have graphic calculator, SAT course, different kind of language learning programs, and they have, let's say, this pen scanner. When the teacher gives the students the printed materials, they can always scan it right here into this device, and they can have it on this device.
Question, when they scan in, say, small, like 8 font or something like that, are they able to blow up the image on the screen?
Yes.
Okay, so they have
Sure.
control over that as well.
Absolutely.
Dave, let me ask you a question. On something like this, which I know that you and your company has attempted to put as much as possible on these devices to satisfy the needs of a school or a school district. But what if the district looks at this and says, well, this is not exactly what we want? They may feel limited by the decisions that you've made. Is that ever a problem for you?
Not really. We work with the different organizations for a long time, and we are very much receptive to what they ask us to do. So we'll be glad to hear back from them. And if they say, well, we don't really need this particular program, but we would prefer to have the two-way Bluetooth communication between student unit and teachers unit. So we can do it. That's in our plans.
That's a major modification. Just as far as the content is concerned, could you download materials for a specific?
Absolutely.
You're
Sure.
that flexible
You can,
at this point?
absolutely. You can download the content from a Barnes & Noble's site. You can download it from free sites, let's say from public domains. And the school practically has endless possibility to upgrade the unit with their own content, with the teachers' curriculums. Our task is to provide them with the tool that would be the most useful for them. That's what we do.
Mm-hmm.
Really happy to be a part of this festival. I know it's our first annual festival, so I'm very excited about that.
It's been a wonderful opportunity, so many different films, different topics, and I've enjoyed it.
I personally had harbored a desire or an ambition to do a film festival, but had not gone about doing anything for it because I knew it was a lot of work and I didn't have the time. So luckily for us, Dennis decided to do it.
I'm very happy to be accepted here at Dennis's great festival, and you know, when you put a lot of work into something and you get acknowledged, it makes you feel good.
You're actually. I'm thinking of this particular product here, and I remember we were having a conversation in the past about how, say, a particular school might issue these for students with another unit available for an administrator or a teacher, and they would be able to use the device for a whole array of different purposes, not just for reading and so forth, but also for attendance, for the issuance of testing and homework. Say a few words about that, if you would. In other words, the multiple uses of these devices.
What you see here is what we call JetBook Color. This is the very first device that is using color e-ink. And we make this again for the schools overseas, and probably we start marketing for the US schools next year only. The idea of this device is to be a truly interactive device. It is not only a carrier for e-textbooks, but also it will have an ability to communicate with so-called teacher console. If the teacher has any kind of notebook computer or tablet, he can create curriculum, and let's say before the class starts, he can download a quick 5 minutes quiz to every of these devices. So every kid, through the multiple choice, they can mark the correct answers. After 5 minutes, these answers will link back to the teacher's units, and they will be graded automatically. So
would that be Bluetooth, kind of conveyed by Bluetooth, or infrared, or would that be a Wi-Fi kind of a thing?
Well, we using Wi-Fi.
Okay.
For various reasons, but that's an idea. So this is not only e-book reader, but you may see it shows the student profile. The teacher always knows that this is this student unit, and it is a console for all textbooks, for classwork, for homework, for different applications that help students to read better, read faster, write essay, do the math, physics, chemistry, you name it. And of course it is connected to internet. Quite important part is the built-in schedule. This schedule links to school server. So any updates in the current schedule, in the schedule later this week, they will be automatically linked to this unit. So the students need just open the schedule. And the teacher can always stick their own electronic notes to this student textbook. So right here, if the student didn't perform well during the class, he sticks it from his computer right here. And the only way to remove it, if the parents of the student will contact the teacher, that's the way.
And if he's been bad, it'll be flashing in red. Go to the principal's office. Go to the principal's office.
Everything will be in
It'll be
red.
right there and self-contained. Now, clearly, Ectico wants to have this niche, right? I mean, you want to be known as the educational e-reader company. As we're having this kind of a conversation, and we're doing this program on this, how many of these ideas do you feel that you need to keep private until the full release of these items? In other words, are you letting in the competition in on the way that you're conceiving this? Are there other competitors that are out there in the same, at the same time trying to put together these same units?
Well, we're very much ahead of the competition now, because we do both. We do hardware development and software development. Everything is done in-house. But of course, there is no business without competition. Obviously, we have a lot more ideas than I disclose here. And hopefully, we will implement most of them. Well, needless to say that a big part of the project is the feedback from the schools, from the teachers, from the administrators, from the principals, from the parents. So this is the only way to build a better product for us.
To establish that ongoing dialogue that responds directly to the needs of the users of it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. David, I did read recently that Florida, the state of Florida, has begun a statewide initiative to commit to e-readers in schools, K through 12. No, although I've yet to hear of other statewide movements across the country. Maybe there are a couple here and there, but Florida has made a huge commitment to this. What is the mood, in this country with respect to e-reader use in American schools?
Well, probably the biggest mistake that they're doing, they're trying to accommodate the existing e-book readers to use in school. It should not be the consumer grade e-book reader. It has to have a rigid case, and it should have a particular set of applications and interface so it can be used in a school environment. I know aside of Florida, Georgia is doing very well in this. They're heading this direction. Nebraska, many other states. I have no doubts that within the next 5, maybe 7 years, that will lead to dramatic changes in the education system and in the education community.
David, what are your institutional goals with respect to e-readers in schools?
We'd like to see e-book reader as a standard item in the book bag of every student. I have kids myself, and I hate to see when they carry like 25 pounds of paper books. It is completely senseless. I mean, it's 21st century, and we provide them with the tool of 16th century. So again, our goal would be to develop this market, to make a better product, and to bring this product in every classroom.
Thank you, David. We've been speaking with David Lubinitsky, CEO of Ectico, a world leader in translators, and with luck, a major player in the e-readers in schools K through 12 movement. We'd love to hear from you, and please feel free to email the show at bttelevision@gmail.com, and please visit Ectico's company website at www.ectaco.com. For my guest, David Lubinitsky, and for myself, W.J. O'Reilly, be well and see you next time.
Welcome to the very first episode of Along with Claire. Over the course of this show, I'm going to be interviewing and showcasing artists who work in all kinds of different mediums. From rock music to sculpture, from dance to film, I'm looking to explore everything. And keep watching eGarage TV. Good night.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for being here for the first inaugural episode of a brand new show called Still Standing with Ray Wagner.
My mom actually has the recipe for diabetes. That's how deadly our food is.
It's like, you know what? I don't think I have an eating problem. Well, your car is filled with White Castle wrappers and stuff. Really?
I feel like a lesbian from the 80s comic. I'm distracted right now.
Honestly, I'm just hoping not to die alone so my cat doesn't eat my remains.
You can't marry a deaf girl, though, man. I don't want blood on my hands. The TV gets so bad, actually, in the future. At one point, we just hand over a camcorder to a bunch of Guidos and watch them get hepatitis for 12 episodes.
I want to thank everyone for being here. That's another episode of Still Standing with Ray Wagner. I'm Ray Wagner. Thank you guys so much. See you next time.
You, Ray.
Clap,
Thank you, Ray.
Confirm camera 1. Confirm camera 2.
Thank you for being here for the first inaugural episode of a brand new show called Still Standing with Ray Wagner.
Drew a pentagram on the ground. I was like, oh, great Satan, take me. I will give you my soul if you stop this music.
I'm Darren Fogg, and I'm going to be the host for the show tonight and every night as we strive this journey through time and space.
First of all, you should buy a Volkswagen because I tell you to.
You ask, what is breaking through? It's a state of mind.
Good evening and welcome to Be Kinda Late Show. Okay, Jack, that's fabulous. I'm gonna get you to draw things first. Let me get my marker.
Welcome to the very first episode of Along with Claire.
Hi, bitches! Guys?
Today is the first episode of Absolutely.
Is this the hospital?
And if that means hitting them sometime, then you have to hit them.
Matthew Steele!
Because you Japanese pigs, you don't understand.
This is going to be an incredible episode.
Flying cars, there's still people who haven't figured out the escalator. Yo, G-Money, use your words, bro.
That's what you're going to work, George.